Okay, we are live, I believe. Hi everyone, just playing with some technology. Hi Instagram, hi Facebook. Welcome to Patrick's live talks. We're on day 5. So today we thought we'd have some knockoff drinks with a couple of us team members. So I'll introduce Lynn and Janet in just a second. I'm also live on Instagram at the same time, but the technology to push this stream out is slightly different. So Instagram, 2 seconds. I'm just going to give you a brief. We're just, oh, hold on. We're not live on Instagram, so I'll keep rolling until we're live on Instagram. So we've got top right, obviously me, I'm Tash. I look after all of the fluffy creative stuff behind the scenes. Top left, we've got Lynn, who is amazing. She is our marketing, oh, no, top left, because you can.
I'm top left on mine.
Hang on. So everyone can see you, Janet, just say. So you can talk. So Instagram, hi everyone. Just touching onto Instagram quickly. So we're doing a slightly different live feed today, which involves all of us or some of us from the Patrick team actually chatting together about our favorite wines. So I just wanted to tap in, say hello, say if you are intrigued in watching us go live and having a chat, head over to Facebook on Patrick of Coonawarra and we will be there having a chat. We'll be online for about 20 minutes, no more. And yeah, that's about it. So hey, the wines we are going to be trying, this applies to both streams, is our Pinot Noir, our Sauvignon Blanc, as part of the Mother of Pearl range, and also we'll touch on the Fumé Blanc, and also Lynn chose Joanna, so we will talk about Joanna for a bit as well. So I'm going to clock out Instagram and head back over to Facebook. See you guys. So ending. All right, so back on introductions because you guys can actually see Lynn and Janet. So top left, I think you can see top left. So top left, we've got Lynn, who's our marketing assistant. Lynnie used to work for Zima before this. And then we've got Janet at the bottom, who looks after our cellar door. She's our senior wine advisor in cellar door, and she's amazing. So originally from New Zealand. So she's got some, she's very interesting. So if you would like to introduce yourselves? Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Lynn. Most of you, hopefully all of my friends are watching this, so I shouldn't really need any introduction, but to all those who don't know me, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this session with my 2 colleagues and myself this afternoon. Over to you, Janet.
Hi, I'm Janet, here from the garden for after work drinks. I've been at Patrick nearly a year, loving working in cellar door, having made a bit of a life change. I love all the aspects of the industry and working for such a beautiful company. So family-owned business, beautiful members of the community, and yeah, great place to work.
Mm-hmm. Cool, thanks guys. So I'll just touch on something from New Zealand, and she has actually just come back from a holiday and was in self-quarantine, which is quite, yeah, I don't know anyone actually who's in self-quarantine. So we'll start talking about the wines in just a second, but the idea behind this is that you guys witness us talking about the wines. So Janet, do you want to just tell us how was isolation? Because you've just come out of it, right? Like,
I have, yeah. Celebrated by going to work today. I was built to self-isolate, Tash. I've gardened, I've sown, I've cooked, I've drunk wine. My eldest child maybe raised an eyebrow at how much wine went into my glass last night, but I was celebrating the end of self-isolation. Yes, but no, and living in a small community with beautiful friends and our beautiful IGA who sorted food for us and ran an account, and friends dropped food over the gate and stayed to talk. So yeah, great place to live.
So did IGA drop off food to your door?
Well, actually not quite. Our neighbour works at IGA, but she did the shop for us, but they ran a tab for us, Shane and Kerry. So that was pretty good.
Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, great. I don't know what I'd do. Actually, my life isn't that different. I'm also semi-isolated, but I'm not really just sit at home and work all day long. Cool. Okay, well, let's start with what we proposed, or what I suggested to Lynn and Janet. So how this came about actually was that Janet was talking last week on an email. She was like, we've got this meeting coming up, so we're all part of the marketing team, and we had a sort of a strategic meeting coming up, and Janet was saying that she was just talking about it. I was like, oh, maybe we could have a Zoom meeting just to chat about it. And then I was like, maybe we can have knockoff drinks. And did you see this email, Janet?
No.
So I suggested this and you didn't reply. So I was like, oh, maybe she just doesn't want to. Anyway.
I think I suggested you and Luke and bean bags on the lawn. I don't think there was any suggestion of Lynn and I.
So what I did was I asked both Janet and Lynn if they could just let me know what their favourite wine was. So I spoke to them both yesterday. Lynn, they both came up with it straight away, which is fun. And so we'll talk through what our wines are, that our favourite wines are, and it's very much from just a real less technical stuff, more why we love it, what we think about it, if there are any other styles that are really good that we would like to share with you, that sort of thing. So Janet, which is quite interesting as a New Zealander, originally chose Sauvignon Blanc, and I originally didn't know whether Janet was referring to our Fumé Blanc or our Mother of Pearl / Peace series range, so that more approachable, younger, spritzy, lively sort of style, and it was actually the Mother of Pearl. So over to you. We've all got the wines to hand, so we'll be talking and drinking and
have my
tell
bottle.
Us.
Yay. I love how fresh it is. I love the passion fruit, so definitely a favourite fruit of mine, and the beautiful citrus notes to it. And I think, it's a 2019, and I mean, even in my head, a perception that a wine being so young, won't be as good as maybe something with a bit of age on it, even with the white, and yet it's just so beautiful. And I love spruiking it to people in Salvador, because I think they, the Mother of Pearl, the price point is just incredible, and I think people expect it, and we describe it as our lovely quaffing wines, but when they actually taste it, they're just blown away, and you can pretty much guarantee that they've a bottle or two of it goes in their box or their bag. So it's it's very gorgeous. So and just really fresh.
Sorry, what did you just say?
And just so beautifully fresh and lovely to have in the summer with gorgeous summer food. Or not, while you're making the summer food. I like it.
So this is really bad, but I have not tried this I don't even think I've tried the 2019 since the 2018. It's such a consistent style and fresh, young, Sauvignon Blanc is what it is. And I know there's consistency there. So I actually haven't tried this or opened it, because I'm more of a Riesling Chardonnay drinker when it comes to white.
Yeah.
And this is amazing.
It's really easy drinking, and especially with fruit, especially with the cheese platters, it's just a great accompaniment to have with them. It's, that fruitiness with the savoury is just a really perfect match.
Yeah. And I think, and you saying that, Tash, because I'm very much a Riesling drinker. And, sort of when we first moved from New Zealand, I thought my throat was going to be cut without easy access to Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, but of course then I discovered Coonawarra and I love the flavours here, but I had certainly, changed my style of drinking in recent years, as lots of us do. You kind of, your taste change, and I definitely Riesling's my go-to, which I think makes, again, this you know, a lovely discovery to be drinking the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah. And I'm finding, I don't know, oh, you don't have it to hand, Lynn, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. But because I was tasting it and just now, drinking it now, and it surprised me actually more so maybe than previous vintages in how linear it is. So I find that Australian, and I really would like to hear from you, Janet, about how you see the comparison between having lived for so long drinking Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc and the comparison to general Australian Sauvignon Blanc, but also specifically ours. But I'm more curious about the Australian versus New Zealand. But for me, you find a lot of that sweeter tropical notes in Australian Sauvignon Blanc as a rule. I've found up until today. So, but this is actually quite linear and quite green, actually, which actually resembles a little bit more of that New Zealand style.
That green, that green, almost sort of grassy and green gooseberry, which
it gives it,
and I mean,
there's some freshness to it, I think.
And there certainly is that consistent freshness, you know, no matter where they're from, but just the different aspects of climate and soil and you know, varietals chosen to plant, all those things that lead up to the grapes that the winemaker then receives. You know, there's so much that goes into a glass of wine even before it hits the winery. Which, you know, I find fascinating. But definitely those tropical notes of a Coonawarra Sauvignon, but you know, with that citrus, that lovely zesty citrus that this certainly has is great.
What would you, or question for both of you, what are your thoughts on food other than drinking it on its own in the garden, which of course is bad? What are your thoughts on food pairing? What would you suggest? There's so
I
many.
like nothing better than to have Sauvignon Blanc with a cheese platter. That's my go-to with Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh wow, okay.
Because I'm not a fish eater, I guess with salmon, you could have it with salmon. That would be beautiful with salmon. But because I'm not a fish eater and I really am a true lover of clashes, it just, with the right cheeses, it just melds so nicely.
The go-to being we are fish eaters and big salmon eaters, so beautiful fresh salad and salmon, just perfect pairing. But you know, I think it lends itself to lots of things really. And while obviously food and wine pairings are amazing, I don't think that should necessarily limit what you choose to drink.
Great.
You know, when you choose to drink things.
Great.
Because everyone's palate's different as well.
Absolutely.
There is a lot of, who was I talking to recently? I was talking to a friend over dinner through a similar Zoom chat on Sunday, and actually I only just met him that night, but I heard of him. He's a friend of a friend and works for, or has worked for, AWRI, so the Australian Wine Research Institute, and he's done a lot of research on customers and flavour profile and the effect it has on wine from a scientific perspective. And he was talking about, we just talked about the social aspects. He's done a lot of research on the social aspect, and it was interesting just talking about how as soon as you plant, all you need to do is tell someone that, you know, you should to try this product with something, or red wine goes with meat and only meat, or whatever it is, and you have that planted in your head. So it's very easy to go with a preconceived idea with things. And whites is obviously a big conversation, because people always say salad or fish or light pasta dish, but I think there's a lot of versatility in lots of different styles of wine.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think this wine is just amazing for what it is. So for the audience listening, if you haven't tried the Mother of Pearl Sauvignon Blanc or the P Series Sauvignon Blanc, both the same style of wine, just available in different areas of the country. It's young, so our current vintage is 2019. It retails at $19 a bottle. It's it's designed to be young. It's designed to be to be drunk very early on, and it's zippy and fresh and very well balanced. The acid line honestly has surprised me today. Like, I knew it's good quality Sauvignon Blanc, but it's really quite delicious, and it does have that sort of those fruity notes to really balance out the palate. So it's really approachable, and it goes and really Moorish. So you kind of like you don't have that speediness without that really nice lift that's like more of this. So that's the style that we're looking at. It is obviously available online, check it out. But that's the difference. And then we also have another Sauvignon Blanc, which is what I thought Janet was talking about actually yesterday, which is a Fumé Blanc. We won't go into too much detail because otherwise we'll run over with time. But it's a barrel aged or barrel fermented style of Sauvignon Blanc, which actually originates from France. The name was coined in America, but Fumé is a French word. And yeah, it's a bit more complex, more complexity to it. It's in our estate range, and that's definitely a different style worth looking into. Anything else, girls, about the Sauvignon Blanc?
Not for me.
Time to have a glass, because it's definitely knock-off time for me. No?
Nope, all good on Sauvignon Blanc.
Cool. All right. I should have got a spittoon. So we'll start on the Pinot Noir. Do you guys want to start? I'm just going to get a spittoon because I don't have one. Actually, no, that's a stupid idea. Wasn't much left. So Pinot Noir, for everyone watching, this is the only wine in our range. So I was actually chatting to someone on our private cellar, private virtual cellar door. Sorry, I've said the word cellar so many times in the last week that I'm getting muddled. But so there was a lovely chap who joined me yesterday in our virtual cellar door, which is that more intimate experience that we've set up. And we talked about the Pinot Noir, and I hadn't spoken about Pinot Noir in a while. And I love Pinot Noir. So what I think would be really great is for us to just have a chat quickly about Pinot Noir. But this is the only wine in our range where the fruit for this wine is not part of our estate grown vineyards. So we purchased the fruit. It's from Mount Gambier, which is about half an hour south of Coonawarra, so even cooler climate. It's very different to, so it's got its own sort of flavor profile, and it's different to any Victorian or Tassie Pinot, and very different to Adelaide Hills Pinot Noir. It's a beautiful wine. If you have the chance when we're open again to try it, I would certainly recommend trying it. It's great value for money. That's one side. I'm a wine geek and I like talking about wine. I don't really want to talk about the sales aspect. So I love this because I genuinely love Pinot Noir, and when it's made well, it kind of ticks my box. So 2016 Pinot Noir. Do you guys have anything to say about Pinot? Do you have it to hand? Am I the only one drinking all these wines? Are you not drinking it?
No, not at the moment. I thought I'd wait till later when no one can see me. No.
So I'm showing everyone, the audience, as opposed to you ladies, how translucent it is. So it's up against that piece of art I've got on the wall. So it doesn't even show exactly how that is, but it's very light. It's like, it's not quasi rosé, but it's so clear and has almost like an earthy sort of tone, a hint coming through, but not really, and certainly savory on the nose and palate. Sour cherry sort of notes are very light, very elegant. Yeah, great with pizza. That's always what I say about Pinot. I love Pinot Noir, so I drink not a lot, but it's definitely one of my go-tos.
I think our Pinot has quite a bit of depth to it too, and the fruit flavours are very upfront too. I really enjoy having our Pinots because it's so. I find it's quite a well balanced Pinot. Sometimes I've tried some lighter Pinots and they seem to be a little bit too light or too. It's lacking the fruit flavours, whereas I think ours is very flavoursome.
Yeah.
I had to admit to not being a Pinot fan, and I would try them every so often over the last few years, and I don't get it. But recently, last year at a dinner, had a Central Otago Pinot that was, it's like, okay, if I must, and it was truly amazing. And that just sort of then, I started work at Patrick not long after, and I love our Pinot. And so, which was so good, because it would be dreadful to be in a salad door situation where you were, trying to encourage people to enjoy a wine that you didn't enjoy yourself. So, it's lovely.
I think it's always good to try the wines that you may not necessarily be one of your favourites, or you think, oh, I won't like this, because the one that you don't try is the one you miss out on. And it might just be that one really good one. Like if you hadn't tried that, you wouldn't have known, would you? And you would have just forever thought, no, well, I just really don't
absolutely.
like it. There's always an exception.
Yes. And I love that, with customers, when you encourage them, or maybe don't give them a choice to to try something, and they're so delighted to have tried it. So I'm not pushy.
Not really. Come to Patrick, we'll show you the way.
Yes. Responsible service of alcohol always.
Yes.
But it is. So it was such a really nice. It's lovely to be enjoying it, and to find that, okay, so maybe I do like Pinot, or some of them. So, yes.
I think that would go nice. Sorry.
It will lead me to explore further.
Yes. I think that would go nice with a nice duck tortellini. That would be really nice, I think.
Oh, duck tortellini. Is that dinner at your house tonight?
Maybe not tonight, but maybe tomorrow night could well be.
I think there's a bit of loop back.
All right, food challenge.
I think some of the audio's looping back through. So
okay.
No, it's okay. I'm just letting everyone know that this is our first trial in the Zoom world, pushing to Facebook. So if you can hear a double up, apologies. So I'd be keen for a takeaway tortellini dropped on my doorstep.
Not a problem. I'll see what I can do. I'll use a pole to push it to the door.
Not my forte. Forte eating, but not my forte.
That's okay. Some of us enjoy it.
So Simon,
not quite as good as you, Janet, but.
And actually, and Tash, you were going to talk about the WSET course that Lynn and I did last year, and I'm going to forget the acronym. Tash, WSET.
Oh, wine and spirits. Thank
you. And certainly the sort of information that I really enjoyed learning in a course that sort of was very international in its education about wine was learning about the regions that grapes can grow in, and the sort of characteristics that they gain from being grown in different temperatures, and that the Pinot, having that explanation that Pinot needs a cooler climate, that it's the one grape variety that doesn't do well, or doesn't produce the right flavours in a warmer climate like Coonawarra. So hence us needing to source it from Mount Gambier, which, I mean, it's only 50 kilometres south, but that degree or two cooler gives
makes a difference.
The right temperature requirements, because it's very thin skinned compared to other grape varieties, so doesn't deal with the heat so well. Yeah, so that was good knowledge coming out of doing that learning.
Yeah. So for everyone,
Yeah.
I'm just going to 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm just going to get some earphones because I think just for audio purposes. Sorry, everyone. I think it might help with loop back. So can you guys hear me, Janet?
Yes.
Right. So what I was going to say, oh yeah, WSET. So I call it WSET. It's Wine and Spirits Education Trust. It started in London. So everyone else knows. Not the biggest fan of acronyms, or I am, but some people aren't, obviously. And it's an international wine learning platform, which is what I love about it. I studied multiple levels in the UK when I was in the UK, and the company I worked for back then actually introduced me to it and put me on the course, and I thought it was amazing. And so one of my missions is for us, all of us staff, to be educated on through the WSET level, the WSET system. And now we've got access to lots of it in Australia, which is amazing. And these Lynn and Janet have done level 2. So level 3 is the advanced level, and that'll be a bit more extensive. And I'm up to level 4, but it's great, and it gives great perspective. And I know that we live in Australia and we've got amazing wine, but really having that understanding of different terroirs, different style, different winemaking techniques, different history, different heritage, that really adds a layer to understanding our own viticulture and our own winemaking. So just that's a bracket from why I'm just going to
step out for a minute.
Yeah. So touching on what Janet was saying about Pinot, what I love about Pinot Noir is that Janet actually said that she also wasn't her thing, and a few years ago it wasn't my thing either, and I was yet to find a really good style of Pinot. But Pinot Palooza was actually an event that really got me engaged with Pinot. So there's like hundreds of Pinot Noirs in this one room. It's a great event, hosted and run and founded by Dan Sims, great event maker. And when Janet's back in the room, I'll actually recommend she goes to one because it's amazing. But side note, back to the profile of Pinot. Don't want to waffle too much. I don't know what you think, Linny, but for me, what I love is it really shows how you can have lots of layer and lots of flavor in a wine, but it not be rich on the palate, so heavy on the palate. I
agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, like it's really interesting when you really start to explore wines and you have this perception that it's either big or it's either light with nothing. And if it's light and like translucent, it means that there's not much flavor. Well, actually, Pinot Noir is the prime example of where that actually goes against that preconceived idea. Like you've got, and when you said, Lynn, that you feel like it's got a lot of depth, it's honestly a very light wine. Like I can't even show you on this image, but look at that. Look how translucent that is. It's very light. It's very elegant. It's very crunchy. I give it a crunchy sort of note, or as a descriptor, but it's got layer to it. It's got flavor. It's got savory with primary.
Yeah, that's true.
And people say Pinot should be drunk with dark, but I believe it's a really versatile style of wine, which will go with pasta, dark, vegetarian, pizza.
Barbecue,
I always have it with pizza.
Anything, yeah.
If I'm having pizza, I generally order Pinot. Pizza.
Doesn't pizza go with every wine?
I think it does, yes. So it's delicious. And for those who are intrigued by what, can you buy it? Yes, of course you can. It's $29. We've got the Wine Magpie still going as a promo code. So if you get 20% off and free delivery in Australia. So just as generally Pinot Noir actually demands quite high price points. So we are quite proud of the fact that it's a reasonable priced wine, and therefore over delivers when it comes to expectations. So that was my choice, the Pinot. And yeah, if you've got questions about detail around Pinot or detail in general or what our thoughts are, let us know. I will look at comments at the end because this platform, I'm thrown off a bit with the platform. Afterwards, I'll show you what my setup is, but it's very amateur. It's like a phone on a stand and a laptop on a IKEA thing.
It works.
Oh,
that's the main thing.
I'm the only log cabin in Coonawarra, so I'm not in Switzerland. I am in Coonawarra.
I was fully expecting it not to work, and I'd be still sitting here in a panic trying to make things work. And I press join Zoom, and there it was. So it's good.
It's great. It's amazing, and highly recommend to all of you in the world to get some friends together over dinner and do this. So I referred to a dinner party I had earlier today and also on Monday. This is what we did. So some friends of mine in Adelaide and a friend of mine in Melbourne, we all got together and initially tried house party, and it failed. And then we went onto Zoom, and this was incredible. It really manages sound. It manages people who's talking quite well. So it's really good technology, actually.
Might have to be this Friday night, Tash, when we have a go.
Yes, so this Friday, actually. So this is to you guys. We are going to be doing whiskey. So we're going to probably do a demo about the whiskey sour that we did at
Oh, yum.
So
they were lovely.
Everyone just needs to have their whiskey, their LTD whiskey to hand, and we will
definitely
knock off whiskey sours. Were you going to say something, Janet?
I'm just going to say that I'm attending live because I missed out on a whiskey sour. So
you got a bottle.
That's okay. I had yours, Janet.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I have got a bottle. Yes.
Yeah, good. They were delicious.
So you're running a class on how to make one.
Yep, with Luke.
Excellent.
So it was Luke's recipe. He was the one who did it. We pulled it from the internet and then tweaked it and changed it and tested it at the Coonawarra Club. So yeah, we'll be doing that on Friday, which talk about the whiskey as well, give a bit of a background to everyone as to what it is and whatnot, and then do a whiskey sour because it's Friday. So whiskey sours are delicious. So if you don't like whiskey sour, it might not be the video for you. Okay. So Joanna, I'm on to Joanna now. Anyone else opening Joanna? We did talk about Joanna, public audience out there.
I might just cradle it.
Is it cold?
So this one happens to be my favourite Patrick wine. It's such an elegant Shiraz, and it's so nicely balanced. What I like about it is that the fruit is there, but it leaves a smooth and lingering finish, and it just leaves you wanting more. It's so easy to drink, perhaps a little bit too easy. It is a full-bodied wine, but it's a really nicely balanced wine. I really like my wines to have a good fruit to tannin ratio, and this Shiraz tends to fit the bill in every way, and there would never be a time that I would never not drink the Joanna Shiraz.
You were very quick to answer, actually. I was impressed.
I was, yeah.
So I called Lynn yesterday and said, and just a chat as well, I can't remember, but I said, so I just need you've got hours tomorrow morning, just send me a text with what your top wine is, what your favourite wine is, and so I can then put it on social media so everyone knows what's going on. And she was like, yep, it's Joanna. I was like, oh, cool. That was very quick.
Yes, there was no thought necessary whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, you go, Janet.
And 2013, so a fair whack of cellaring has already been undertaken here in Coonawarra. So there is that beautiful fresh tannins, and yeah, just the most wonderful smooth flavour.
Yeah. It's just drinking perfectly now. It's just amazing.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And I am a big Shiraz fan, but I'm also very fussy when it comes to my Shiraz. It has to fit the bill.
Yes. So I don't know if we told everyone, but Lynn used to work for Zima. Did you say that at the beginning, Lynn?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
no, you did. When you introduced me, yes.
Yeah. So Lynn used to work for Zima for 10 years. So we were very lucky to snaffle her up. And yes, she's got a very discerning palate and clearly very high standards. So it's very nice to hear that she has such lovely things to say about Joanna. And as for those who did tune into the Joanna session, which was the one on the slant, so when we completely messed up and started the video on an angle, sorry again, but anyway, that's cool. We talked extensively about Joanna. We did the vintage comparison between 12 and 13. So worth going back and having a listen, probably, because watching it's going to give you neck ache. But it's a beautiful wine. I really love it too. And you talking about that balance of tannin to fruit ratio is key. I mean, acid, fruit, tannin is actually the things that need to be aligned with any wine tasting perspective or eating, drinking. You know, we don't just all sniff and pretend we're
no, that's right.
Wine in company of friends and eat great food with it. So yeah, it's delicious and it is big, but it's got that elegance, that cool climate elegance.
Yeah.
I love Shiraz. What about you, Janet?
Well, I'm trying to encourage people to come and join us, but like this is slobbery tennis balls.
Show us, Pepper.
She's not playing.
Oh, good.
So, no, and if I were to choose a red, I certainly Joanna is a favourite because it is just so beautiful. And so, you know, that beautiful age aspect of it, you know, makes it even more beautiful. And all that length on the palate, you don't necessarily want to be eating with it because you just want to savour all those flavours.
Yeah.
It's one of those bottles that's very versatile. It can, if you were going out to someone's place, it wouldn't matter where you were going. I think that, you know, it would be very appropriate wherever you went. I think it's, I don't think there'd be anyone out there that wouldn't like it too much, if you know what I mean, even if you weren't into Shiraz.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really a Shiraz drinker.
Okay.
Yeah. I went on a date once with someone in the wine industry years ago, and they said that they love Barossa Shiraz. I was like, who are you? Like, no one it's amazing. Of course it's amazing.
Yes.
Reputation for a reason. But I don't normally drink it actually, but and I love a cooler climate, so I don't like really heavy, high alcohol, jammy wines unless I'm just having a quick glass.
And everyone, that's the beauty of wine, isn't it, really? Because there's something for everybody. There's not one wine that everyone is going to like. There's always going to be, sorry, I'm getting a bit disconcerted because I can hear myself. It's, sorry.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. No, I've forgotten what I was saying. That's really handy, isn't it? What was I saying about the Shiraz? Yeah.
Cooler climate Shiraz.
Oh, yeah. How I said, you know, one of those ones that you can just take anywhere, and it wouldn't matter whether you were a Shiraz drinker or not. I think it's just one of those wines that really fit the bill.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
and coming, you know, coming from Rattenbury, which is just Rattenbury generally producing such beautiful Shiraz, you know, for many labels. It's just, sorry. Yeah, it's sort of a bit of an unsung area, really. So many people still haven't heard of it, or when they see it on the label, they have no idea where it is. But yeah, we're so lucky that we have 2 vineyard areas there producing, beautiful Shiraz, Riesling, and other varieties.
I think generally here we're just very, very spoiled for good wines, really.
Yes,
it's
definitely.
pretty difficult to find a wine in Noir that isn't really superb. So,
yeah, that's
yay
so
for
true.
us. yeah. But yeah, just good with us having Bully gives us sort of another climate zone and different soils, so different styles of fruit and different flavour profiles. So yeah, fun for the winemaker to work with.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, which we've gone, see how quickly it goes. So I was telling these ladies that we'll be probably online for 20 minutes. They're like, whoa, that's such a long time. What are we going to say? It's been 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I know, time flies, huh? But I just wanted to, because what's really important to us as a business is small business, family owned. This is going to be a really tough time for a lot of people. So I really want to take any opportunity we can to promote Spruik. There's no sponsorship going on here, by the way. This is just us doing our part as another small business. But I would really like, if you have anything off the top of your head based on the varieties that we've tasted, so each of you with your favorite, is there another business, like a family-owned small business, another example of Sauvignon Blanc or another example of Shiraz, which you would recommend for our listeners, or that they should check out and support as well as us?
I know that I worked there for 10 years, but they do have the most amazing Shirazes, which is Zima, especially their family selection. That used to be my favourite there as well. So absolutely a must try.
Yep.
Well, and I'm a bit, my go-to is not a small family owned, so that's a little bit more difficult, but there are Coonawarra. I'm not sure how unique it is in the scheme of things, but there are still a number of amazing family-owned businesses here who, and people who visit the region are always so amazed at the fact that we spruik each other, and you'll direct customers to another cellar or a number of other cellar doors, because they're all so amazing. And that's just such a unique, beautiful aspect of Coonawarra, and that it's still entertaining a number of family-owned businesses.
Such a tight-knit community.
And it's such an amazing, welcoming place here to everyone. So come and visit when you can. Everyone be open here with welcoming smiles and welcoming arms.
Yes.
When
absolutely
we're all allowed to get out. Yeah,
it's a great community. So my choice, and I haven't thought about it. I was like, oh, I've got to put this question out there, and I haven't thought about this. But they are now owned by Wirra, but the one wine that I can think of off the top of my head, which I love, not only for Pinot, but is Ashton Hills. So they are owned by Wirra. I believe they're still private owned. I don't think there's shareholders, or don't think they're big. But either way, they used to be small. When I bought them from them 4 years ago, there was just this guy in a tracksuit in a shed, and it was pretty amazing. And their wines are amazing. So that would be my one for the small business plug. So
I think we should have an in-house tasting once all this is over to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to wrap up, everyone. I'm going to just see quickly if there are any questions. There's been a lot of support. So I'm just reading some comments here. Yeah, so Crystal says the beauty of wine is that it's versatile and there are different things with different tastes. Exactly, which is I 100% agree. And that's what I love, especially when I'm serving customers and ladies who think the same. I love it when people actually say, oh, it's not my style. Because I'm like, that is exactly wine. Like, it's all very subjective. Of course, there are great producers and we aim to be the best in what we do. But styles change. There is no wrong answer. So any customer that walks into our cellar door, they do not need to be experts in anything. And they do not ever need to feel like they should like this, or they should know about Cabernet Sauvignon, or they should know about France. They don't need to. And really, even my mates who are like, oh, I'm not an expert. I'm like, actually, you are the expert because you're the one buying wine. So I can waffle on about, you know, snobbery. But actually, do you like it or do you not like it is the real question on the table. And the average customer, average Joe, my mates who are not in wine, for me, I'm like, yes, do you like it or do you not like it? You are basically the biggest wine critic that I care about. And you don't need a million awards to do that. So thanks, Bristol. You're amazing. Annette, who works for us, who's amazing. We'll probably get her on the show at some point. She recommends Joanna with dark chocolate at the end of the night in front of a wood fire.
Perfect.
Love it. Cool. If there are any other questions that I can't see which will come through, I will respond whenever. So I'm going to clock off. We've been too long already, but it's been fun. So,
thanks, everyone. I was a tad nervous.
Thanks, Linny. Thanks, Janet. And
not a problem.
Won't see you soon. So I haven't seen these ladies in I haven't seen Janet in like a month. See you soon. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
See you, everyone.
See you, everyone.
Nice.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Stay well. Bye.